Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. Your energy. That's right. Only you can make the change. Shine your head at you. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
Welcome back. It's Alchemizing Energy. I'm sorry. I was supposed to start the live at 3:30, but honey, I ended up on this live stream with Sonetta and them, and it got really crazy because, man, looked like WAC 100 got involved with the whole situation with Sonetta, and I had to like kind of clear, like, listen, I don't think that 607 set Sonetta up, but we're gonna discuss. I'm gonna do a live stream on that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, I wanted to bring the yearly ODU for the United States to everybody so they understand what energy is going on in the U.S. Every year they do a yearly ODU. Normally they do it in January, but if you understand the Ifá calendar, you understand that the beginning of the year is not in January, but in like Ifá and in Yoruba tradition, it's closer to June. So they Africans do their ODU around June, and like in Caribbean and like Cuba and places like that, they do their ODU during the first of the year where everybody else does it. So there was a decision made to have a actual United States ODU, and so this is the recording of that ODU. So I hope that you guys enjoy it and take notes. Here we go.
Ikaro, Aburo Boye, Aboshishe. Greetings, everyone. Alafia. Welcome, Ikabo, to the Divination for the United States of America. This is the beginning of the Isese New Year. And so we have already had our World ODU. This ODU is gearing towards the United States and addressing specific issues that are concerning us. So in doing so, many of you, or at least some of you, have been involved with the discussions with the elders, with the woes and diviners, and so on, regarding some of our needs, some of our concerns. I posted it online as well regarding some of our needs, some of our concerns, and asking people to share some of those things. So what we've done is we have summarized those things into a brief document, and we will share some of that information just so that we can all be on the same page as we approach Barumila. We can all be a little bit more focused on what those concerns are, what we'd like addressed, even though we already know Ifá is going to say whatever Ifá has got to say, and so on, and what we need to do in order to move forward. So part of this, for those of you who may have just kind of found out online somehow, I want to explain kind of how some of it came about, and that was that we, as a community, have been seeing a lot of changes in our administration in this country, and it has impacted lives. There are many people who may have been from other countries who are impacted. There are people who are of ethnicities and other ethnicities who are impacted. As African Americans, we are impacted. Our civil rights have been taken, or have been undermined. And there are positions and policies that are set to continue to undermine those things. There are policies that they are moving in place to undermine even freedom of religion. They're moving towards a more Christian nationalist perspective, which automatically impacts us. Texas, they just passed, are required to read the Bible, which for those who are not necessarily practicing Christians or whatever, it is a infringement on your own right and your own freedom of religion. And so these things and more kind of came up as concerns, and the messages that were coming through was that we really needed to get together. We need to come together as a community. We need to come together in unity, because nothing that our ancestors have ever done that has been successful was done individually. It's required. We have to come together. We have to put some of the distances and the lineages and the division to the side for a greater good. And we all are impacted by any policy. It's not about one temple, one person, one group, one lineage. It's not even about Africa and the continental interest at this point. We must take care of our own interest. And so that is what motivated and stimulated this. Ifá specifically said, hey, either you do ebos or you're going to become the ebo. And we have a history of becoming the ebo. We're not trying to have that now. So that's my little spiel. I want to greet all of the elders. I want to greet the awos. I want to greet the interested parties. I want to greet the donors and those people who are joining on so early in the morning. Thank you for showing. Thank you for showing up. The donations have been very, very helpful to help with the ebos. So I want to thank everyone for that and open the floor. The Oluwo, some of what we've done is we divined on who would be the diviner for this particular session, for this particular thing. And Ifá chose Oluwo Ifakolade. Now, it could be pronounced Ifakolade or Ifakolade. Which one do you pronounce? How do you pronounce your name?
Oh, both, yeah. Ifakolade is good.
Okay. Ifakolade. Okay. Ifá, Oromila specifically chose him to be the diviner. So that is who is going to be taking over this session and moving forward. So I am going to turn the spotlight on over to him, and he can go from there. So let me do that.
All right, our boy, how's everyone at Cairo? Thank you all for joining us such early in the morning. I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to do this. Before I want to start, I want to begin with prayer and invocation of Ifá, and if we can all perhaps do that, and also some incantations for our own protection. I want to begin with that. Oshungwade, Mojuba Gode, Mojuba Fragnanos, Mojuba Flori, Mojuba Palau Coyente, Mojuba Philip Dalo, Mojuba Gujobi, Mojuba Yeye, Mojuba Mojuba Shalom, Mojuba Chana, Mojuba Shubi, Mojuba Bastage, Manade from the first. Mojuba Ogunde, Mojuba to my elders, Baba Robert Edmonds, Mojuba Catherine Edmonds, Mojuba Baba Ifá, Shalom Bade Popola, Mojuba to all of our elders that are present here at this time. Thank you for joining us. Ifá, we are coming to you. Thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We thank you for all the things that you have provided for us. Lord Kumari, we ask that you would continue to ward off death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversies, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us at this time. We ask that you would support us in this divination. Ask that you would protect us at this time from any negative forces that could be trying to infringe, tag along, harp on, cling to any negativity. Please ward it off. We say this incantation. What we're saying in this Iyajo is that we will not be found amongst those who are bound. We will not be found amongst those who get kidnapped or abused, because we are the children of the Igomole, we are the children of Ifá. And as a result, if anything or anyone wants to put us in a bad position, they are in direct contact with the Irumole. So if anyone wants to harm any of us, they have the Irumole to contend with. Ashe, Ifa, please support us. Please support us. I want to pray on some of these directives that we have thought about at this time. So let us go into that as we pray. Ifa, we come to cast this Ifa for the United States, and there are some common points. One, Ifa, we want to bring forth a call for internal unity and healing. We want to overcome fragmentation. We want to overcome issues of lineage gaps and Isese this, Lukumi that, Candomblé this, Santeria that, all sorts of African traditional religions. Ifa, we want to bridge the gap. We want to have intergenerational connection. Also, political protection and urgent external defense. The political climate that we are here experiencing in this North America, there's deep anxiety, anger regarding the current federal administration, white supremacy's agenda, and the stripping of basic civil human rights. Our community wants protection from these oppressive forces and the removal of corrupt officials. We want safety and sovereignty, strong protection for our community members, for Black women, Black men, Black children. Protect us from abuse, trafficking, and random disappearances. Ifa, we also want your word and protection and economic sovereignty, and to build infrastructure, circulating wealth. We want assistance with that. We want tangible survival suggestions that will include cooperative farming to protect families and food deserts. Also, there's clarification, Ifa. We want to define community, and we want to assist the community in understanding the significance of Ebo. Ifa, please support us with all of these things as we begin to cast this Ifa. Also, we want to know what are the insights from Ifa on these very issues. Ifa, we want to look at the two ODU, the leadership in Ife with Osaleye, help that to give us a clear understanding, as well as in Adotiti, the ODU, Eroson Agbe, help us, to gain, for us to draw insight from both of those ODUs. Ifa, we ask that you would support all of us in this community. Ashe Aboro Aboy Boshishe Aboto. I want to open it up as well for any other concerns that people may have on casting this ODU before we begin to even to cast. So,
is there anyone who would like to say anything, add to the prayers, add to concerns? If so, this is your moment.
Baba Tony Mombesire, Cabrera, Babos Efuntayo. Climate change has produced the hottest temperatures I've been learning in Europe. Climate change, El Nino, the processes on Mother Earth with seismic activities has produced very challenging circumstances. We don't have that here yet in the United States. When it comes, we need to be resilient. So I want Ifá to help us prepare to be resilient when karmic processes come this way that are so intense that we're usually not used to that type of thing. So I'll leave it at that. And Ifakolade, I trust his language and thinking to articulate my concern. Mudupwe.
Thank you, Baba. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Add?
Ekaro, Iboro Boyebo Cheche.
Yes.
Greetings to the elders, greetings to the diviner, and to all who are gathered. I'd like to offer for prayers that we bring before Ifá in the wisdom of our indigenous Native American brothers and sisters, there is the wisdom of 7 generations. And so I offer, as we bring prayers to Ifá, that we're not just considering the concerns of right now and today, but also the longevity and the generative effect, the vibrational effect of these prayers to guide us for 7 generations that are something better. Ashe, go to play.
Ifá, you've heard our concerns, the additional and very important concerns of us preparing for climate change. And also, if we can do anything to halt it, to slow the process, to do things that would be in a much more environmentally sound way, as well as the prayers that we are making, the transformations that we're making, be in support of our indigenous ancestors, as well as to affect change for the next 7 generations. What we do here, help it should change the world for the better. I share, I brother, I played with the truth. Please hear all of our prayers. God, please support us. God, do not say yes when it is no. Do not say no when it is yes. Before we be the king, we will be ourselves. Father will never be his child. Father, that's true. I feel you. Wow. Please ward off all death, ward off sickness, ward off cases and controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and our advice from us, and bring forth in its place long life, love, response, literally, longevity, prosperity, victory, diversity, peace of mind, Lord, healing, success, and all good things of life. In fact, please remove the heads of our enemies so that they will not have any power over us. And God, Otura Meji,
Sure.
Ira, the process, Ira. About what is Ira, I told Ebi na mi leke. The process is very cool. The harvest is very cool. Ebo. Kakuna. Sa issue. Worry. Ebo. Otura Meji. Okay. So before I want to mark Ebo, I want to begin by breaking down, interpreting some of this Ifá for us, if that is good. And then at that point, I also want to have others open up and share their information about this Ifá. May I have the permission of the elders to speak on Otura Meji?
You can speak on Otura Meji. The rest of the messages, however, will be later on today, but
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So we'll have time for some brief comments if we have brief comments today, this morning, but the majority of the elders will speak at noon or noon Eastern, but go ahead.
All right, boy. This Ifá Otura Meji. Ifá says we will be very successful in our motives and the things that we're trying to get across. We'll be extremely successful, but the key is that we need to be very much aware of three things. This is the Odu or Wumila, went from Orun, from earth to heaven, seeking wisdom. And when he got there, Olodumare gave him three directives and asked him to meditate on those three directives for 1,000 days each. When he left his home, his wife was pregnant. It took him almost 3 years to get from heaven to earth. When he gets there, Olodumare tells him, now I want you to meditate on when the river is filled to the brim, do not forge across. He meditated on that and came up with 1,000 different meanings. Then Olodumare told him, all right, now think of this one. When the wind is strong, do not stand next to a tree. So he did that. He meditated on that for 1,000 days and he came back and Olodumare told Olumila, now meditate on this. Before you get angry, analyze all sides of the situation. And Olumila did. Now, it was time for Olumila to go back from Orun to Earth. And Olodumare gave him entourage. The entourage was essentially the rich man of Earth and the rich man of Heaven, and all of their wealth and all of their entourage. So they went from heaven back to Earth. On the way back, Orunmila came across a river, and it had just rained. It rose to the top. The rich man of Heaven decided, you know what, I can get across. Don't worry. Orunmila said, before you do that, think. If a river is filled to the brim, do not forge across. He didn't listen, forged across, and drowned. They had to wait several days in order to get his bloated body and bury it. So Orunmila assumed the wealth of the rich man of Heaven. Then as they continued, they came upon not a rainstorm, but a windstorm. And the rich man of earth decided he was going to stand near a tree. Orunmila said, when the wind is high, do not stand next to a tree. He said, I'm good. The tree fell on him and killed him. When that occurred, Orunmila had to bury him, and he then had to assume the wealth of the rich man of earth and the rich man of heaven. As they kept traveling, they finally got to home. Orunmila looked in through the window. He was so excited because he had all this wealth, and he saw his wife in bed with what appeared to be a grown man. Orunmila himself was reaching for a machete. He was going to right this wrong. How could she do this? And as he did that, he remembered, before you get angry, analyze all sides of the situation. He went and slept out in the barn. The next morning, he woke up and trying to show his wife what was going on and also question her. And she said, oh my God, my husband, Orunmila, you're back. And then she said, this is your son. That whole time, Orunmila's wife had given birth. It took him 3 years to get to Orun. Over 3 to 4 years to meditate for one thing. 4, 8, 16. All this time, Orunmila was away. And all the two of them had was each other for compassion. Ifá is saying 3 things for us and our protection. Those things are, when we feel the temperature, the problems rising in a situation, on the internet, in the world, and at an event, when things begin to get hot, problematic, it's time to go. Let's go back home, retreat. That's one. Ifá is also saying, when there's the challenge of, when we know we're going into a situation where there's going to be issues, arguments, problems, conflicts, don't even go. And Ifá is saying for us not to be hot-headed as well, for us not to be angry. Ifá is saying that we have anger and it's justifiable, but not to act that energy out on the world. Ifá also says that there's enemies coming from at least 8 different directions. One, on this ODU, Ifá is saying that the enemies are coming from 3 directions. And those are actually people who are extremely close to us. Extremely close to us. These enemies are coming. This is the ODU where Orunmila was coming from heaven to earth. And Obaluaye, Eshu, and Iami were traveling with him. And basically, Olodumare had a mission for all of them. And Iami, they didn't want to bring children into the world. They wanted to take them. Eshu didn't want to be the one to unify people. He wanted to break up relationships. And Obaluaye didn't want to be the one to bring wealth. He wanted to be the one to drain wealth through illness. And Olodumare gave all those tasks to Orunmila at that time. And they all became jealous. And they were fighting and sending spiritual missiles at Orunmila at that time. What ended up happening is, in this ODU, in that story, Orunmila then becomes the individual to be the one who supports and serves those individuals. Because what ends up happening is they wanted to destroy Orunmila, and Ifá turned it around. Orunmila then began to be the one who served them. And that was the way she neutralized the negative energy. Iami got a daughter. Eshu got Agberu, his wife, which was originally a woman who Orunmila was about to marry. And Obaluaye got money. So Ifá is saying here that, one, this is speaking of the supremacy of Ifá, in the sense of we will get a lot farther through offering Ebo and also casting Ifá, and more so a passive route to success, because we will eventually be the individuals who the world is looking to service them, or to give the world and the people of the world their needs. Because Orunmila did the same thing for his family members who are also his enemies. Also, as I said before, there's enemies coming from 5 different directions. Please, if I was saying, please do not be flighty in tongue. Don't speak, not necessarily out of turn, but speak in a way that is boastful. Last but not least, Ifá says that we need to be extremely aware of what our taboos are. And Ifá is even saying on this Odu that it is not necessarily witchcraft that is causing majority problems. The majority problems are coming as a result of not following taboo, and also not knowing the taboos to follow. So these are some of the things that we need to investigate. I'll leave it there, but those are some of the most pressing things I can think of at this very moment. Agbo.
Ato, Dupre for that insight, that information. Briefly, as I indicated, the majority of the messages will come at noon. But I would like to take this time for those who are up early in the morning, who may want to speak on anything or ask the Oluwo any specific questions at this time. Oluwo, Tony, I see you. Are you ready to speak? Are you asking to speak?
Yeah, thank you. Let me turn off my alarm. Yeah, okay. First, I want to thank Ifakolade. We were together in Los Angeles for a good fraternity in 2014. And I've grown to respect his growth incredibly. So thank you. Well, the Ifá is very good. Well, I just want to leave this thought process with the Otura Meji, Otura, keeping our bodies cool. And what does that mean? Well, tutu. Oriele da, Oriapere, Atauri Iwa, Ori Iwaju, and keeping our bodies cool. So it's right in line with the process we need to embrace, because this is intense evolution. And intense evolution is friction. And friction creates heat. And as Ifá's so eloquently describing, we need to be cool-headed, not react. So I won't go any further because Ifakolade is very eloquent and very descriptive. And I just wanted to add that in terms of the actual etymology of the word, of the name of the Otura, cool body, corporal structure, our biophysiological structure, okay? Also our homes, also our relationship with Ile Mother Earth. So thank you for the opportunity to share. Dupre.
Is there anyone else that wants to say anything? Has any immediate insights they'd like to share?
Hey, I'm joining this a little bit late. The ODU is Otura Meji.
Manny. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So should I give interpretations now or should I wait?
You can, if you would like to give a brief synopsis now, you can elaborate later in the noon session.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I got up a little late, so I'm just
it's okay.
Really touching my head to the mat. So here, and I may be reiterating some of the aspects that Bob spoke to. Here, Ifá says, Akudu Mangbele, Diafon, Edaye, Ombo Confontorum, Ebony Fanikoshe, Ekudu Akara, Timoje, Yamitisan, Akudu Mangbele, Mamaku Degbenu, Akudu Mangbele, Iraiku, Irade, Iraya, Ireoma, Atibogo Ire, Timoje, Yamitisan, Akudu Mangbele, Mamaku Degbenu, Akudu Mangbele. So in this aspect, Ifá is speaking about, some mental health stuff. And I know this Odu very well because this was my hand of Ifá Odu. Speaking about the part where it says, Mamaku Degbenu, which means don't die and throw away your egg-based shrine. So speaking about someone who was, feeling so depressed, so low in life that they wanted to, kill themselves and throw away their egg-based shrines. But it's saying that it's, your egg-bed who will, in a sense, bring you all the blessings that you're maybe lamenting about that would, cause you to want to end your life in the first place. So with this Odu, applying it to us as a group, and as a people. If I was maybe speaking about some, deep kind of mental health challenges, depression, things like that, hopelessness, stuff like that, and venerating Egbe very, very well. A lot of Egbe initiations, things like that are, what's going to, uplift us, and things like that. Here, Ifá also says, Alafia, lau, 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 diafun baba imale, abi ewo sege lorun, ekun relonsun, ebony, Ifá ni ko se, tewure, emi afia Ifá se ofeje, tewure, igbin ki legun, ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ kí n lẹ́gun, ẹ̀yìn adìẹ kí n lẹ́gun, ẹyẹ tó bá yẹ láyé jù ni wọ́n pè ní ẹyẹlé, tewure, emi afi ayé Ifá se ofeje, tewure. Baba may have already spoken to this aspect. There's some controversial interpretations with this one, because it speaks about the Muslim faith. People may have already spoken to this one. The way we interpret this in my lineage, it was interpreted for me that, I had a Muslim ancestor, that I needed to venerate. That's one interpretation. But the other interpretation was that, the person should do Ebal against perpetual conflict and things like that. So I would say it could speak about, some of the things that are going on for us in this country, perpetual conflict, difficult things like that. And we should do Ebal and, feed Ifá with a lot of coolants and things like that, like bananas, honey, snails, on a small scale, guinea fowl, on the large scale, pig. There's more aspects I can give. I don't know if I should keep going. There's another, someone may have spoken to this. This is an ODU, is doubling down on what Otura Meji said about us needing to respect women very well in this ODU. Like, someone with this ODU from Ifá may have a complete taboo against any conflict with women. And again, someone may have mentioned this already, but it's a story of where Oromila, was told not to look down on women in Otura Meji. And he went to Ifá. Ifá told him, do not look down on women. And he said, like, me, like, I'm powerful, I'm Oromila, like, what can a woman do to me? So he didn't do the Ebal he was told to do, which was essentially an offering to the Iyami. A little bit of time went past, his life fell apart completely. And he lost everything. He lost his house, his spouse, his clients, everything. So at the point where he's really down on life, he then goes back to Ifá. He's like, wait, what was that offering that you told me to do? And he's ready to do it. And he follows the instructions, and it's essentially him preparing what is Isese to the Iyami. But what he decides to do is he decides to when he like he's instructed to leave the Isese, in a particular place, maybe at the crossroads or something like that. But what he decides to do is go hide to see who came to collect the offering. And as he's hiding, behind a rock, he notices that the people coming to collect the offering are like the women from the community, his mother, his aunts, all the women that he was underestimating. And so, he learned not to look down on women because, it's like, I think it says in Odu, like, before we become anybody, before we become kings, anything like that, like, it's a woman that has given birth to us. So, a woman that learned not to look down on women. And so there's an aspect here where the women should be, the Iyami should be venerated very well. But I'll stop there.
Okay. All right. Madukwe for sharing that. That has been recorded. Is there anyone else who has something they would like to share, say, add?
I'll go, yes.
Proceed, Bale.
Ibulu, Iboye, Iboshishe, Aloye, Ibulu, Iboye, Iboshishe, Oluwo, Ibulu, Iboye, Iboshishe, Babalaos, Iyanifas, Ibulu, Iboye, Iboshishe, Baba Oba Ogboni. I will shortly just add, my name is Oje Didan, Awo Ifá Sokin Loju, Orisha Owumi, Orisha Kuwakumi, Obatala Orishanla. So I will briefly just say that I'm happy that Ifá has granted us Ire with such a powerful Odun in Otura Meji. With all the turmoil that we face that's going on in the world, we should know that Ifá, from this day and past experience even, has our back totally. I'll briefly say that in Otura Meji, we know that it is a source of mystic vision, which is in alignment with our Ori. With that being said, I would employ all of us to keep thinking positive, keep working on our character, and most importantly, keep venerating our Ori every morning, whenever possible, doing Ipeshi. Because Ifá is saying that our blessings of our mystic vision as a community is servicing the world, is servicing ourselves. And that's why this ODU has appeared. I will save any other interpretations for later this afternoon, but I am overjoyed. I say thank you to all of the people. Thank you, Oloye, for coming up with this idea, because in that process, you use your mystic vision to make this whole thing come about. And all of the people who are involved and who contributed and who donated, your mystic vision is on point. Ashe.
Michelle, good way. Good way. Thank you.
Kábíyèsí. Ẹ kú ṣe Oluwo, ẹ kú ṣe o. Well done, well done. I appreciate it. I'm thankful to Ifá for bringing us such a wonderful, for bringing us seeing Erase for us, to have guidance for our year ahead and to know how to handle the situations that are upon us. I thank everyone for their participation and coming together in unity. Before this ends, please, I would love to hear from the Iyami. I know the Iyami here on this call. Please speak and give us a quick wisdom so we can go into our next sessions with a great outlook.
Are there any women who wish to speak at this time? IFA Òrìṣà, yeah, a BA. She might be asleep. Is there anyone else who would like to speak at this time? Bale, would you like to share?
Yeah, Carol, I woke late. I greet all the headers. I greet all the babalawos. I greet all the yas. My name is Shangwale Ajala. I saw the ODU that is come out Otura Meji. Yeah, we thank Olodumare. We thank our ancestors that is make everything for us. That ODU is very, very good ODU. Otura Meji speaking the longevities and good health. And if I say that we need to do the sacrifice on it so that we have long life and good health. And if I also is talking to us to not look down on person, whatever how the kind of that person be, we supposed to be taking care of the people. The more we taking care of the people, the more also we see more blessing on it. So we should more taking care of people, even though to more supporting each other. The more we do that, the more also we have a good life. And if I also say that we need also to do the sacrifice as well, whatever kind of things that we lay hands to. If I say we will prosper on it, when that we see Otura Meji, and when that we see Otura Meji, if I also say that we need also to do the sacrifice as well, whatever kind of people that is have court case, if I say that they will win that court case, and if I also say that we also be more careful about how kind of people that we share our life history with. If I also talking to us to more whatever kind of thing that we are doing, to not expose our things, just talking. Oh, this is how do we do this? I do this, did I do that? If I see that whatever things that we are doing, to just keep it in ourselves, to not just saying, oh yeah, I have this thing, I have that, this is the way I get money, this is the way I do things. If I say, just know yourself, don't, how the way that we getting blessing, how the way that are getting things, don't say that, oh yes, I want to tell the people about it so that they will not betray you on that. So if I giving you advice on that, when that we see Otura Meji, and when that we see Otura Meji, if I also say that we will had our fila, any kind of like a heart or something, if I say that we will had it with sacrifice as well, so that our Ori also will lead us to the place that we prosper in our life. If I say that, when that we see Otura Meji, and when that we see Otura Meji, ìrìngbẹ̀rẹ̀ awọ ẹ̀wù adífá fún ẹ̀wù àlàáfíà láwù babaláwo aṣọ ló sì fáfá sọ ẹbọ wọn ní kí wọn á ṣe aṣọ nìkan níbẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí ń ṣẹbọ ó lóun ti ṣẹbọ àlàáfíà láwù. Ifá say that we will have peace of mind. Ifá say we will have comfortable life. Ifá also say that whatever kind of things that is bother our mind, Ifá say we need also to be more, is someone that's supposed to taking care of us. Ifá say we need to speak out, to not hiding what is going on with our life, so that we can quickly find the solution on what is going on in our life. Whatever, maybe you have kind of the sickness or you have kind of the problems, if I say don't hiding what is going on, try to tell the people that are supposed to help you so that they can quickly see the solution on what is going on. If I say that, when that we see Otura Meji, and if I also say that we will had the Oti, it can be gin, it can be any kind of the liquor, we had it with sacrifice, so that whatever kind of people that they are saying bad word about our life, that spirit of that liquor is the one that we fight kind of that person's. So there's Ifá is on the Ifá Benwaju, Ifá is on the, so that is what I want to say for now.
Michelle, thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to ask one last time before we close this out, if there's anyone else who would like to speak at this time. Otherwise, we will proceed to wait until noon for the rest. Oluwo, please, Yalaje.
Abaruaboya Aboshishe to everyone that is present. I am very thankful to participate in this process. I think it is the beginning of something beautiful, something powerful. I'd actually written my comment. I had written my statement. Alexa, stop. I had written my comment. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. It's time for me to get up. But and so anytime I see Otura Meji, the first thing that pops in my mind is the saying that it is the mouth of the talkative that killed the talkative. And the owl just touched on that as well. And what that brings to mind for me is how we move. It is a call to be more strategic. It is a call for us to be more discerning for what we do, what we say, who we engage with, rather. And that's really all I wanted to add to this.
Okay. Question. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian. All right, Awo, did you, Ifakolade, did you mark the EBO specific in what we needed?
I marked that about. I didn't. I just wanted us to talk first. So let us see.
Sure.
Okay. Ifá. On this Ifá Ebo with 3 okete, 3 plates, 3 epo for those enemies, and then Ebo of 1 he-goat. Slice the he-goat's head into 5 pieces and put each piece in Ebo. These the Ebos that will bring us to Oliver. Let's see. I'm sorry. So the above here. Okay. I'm writing it. So this elbow is mainly to protect us from the various enemies, and I said 5 different places. So with that, usually the elbow for that verse is either 5 he-goats or 1 he-goat, and Ifá chose 1 he-goat. So we'll offer elbow 1 he-goat, and you slaughter that he-goat, cut the head into 5 different pieces, and put the head pieces of the head in 5 elbow dishes. Also, this Ifá is telling us that we will be servicing the world, and that is one of the ways that will bring togetherness, the unity. And that elbow is 3 okete, 3 roosters, 3 apple, and 3 plates. So I'm not sure if we can do that one in particular here because it requires okete, but that is what Ifá is calling for.
I'm sorry, you said 3 okete. There's 3 roosters, 3 plates. There was something in between.
3 apple, 3 containers.
Apple. 3 containers of apple.
Abu Rabbi, you can ask, is it good to use pork and beef for the sacrifice for the yami?
Both pork and beef, Baba?
Yes, pork and beef, yes.
Okay. Can we use both pork and beef for sacrifice to yami? Or no? Obesa.
Oh,
yes. The process, yes.
Okay.
Oluwo.
Yes, sir.
Ask if Iyami will take, if Onile will take anything.
Was Onile, what do we need to feed Onile on this info? Otura Ifá says no with oh yes, we said we need to feed Onile, Otura Osa. Yes. This is Oshe Gunda. We need to feed Onile.
So Baba, one question. So for the elbows, so for those of us that gave interpretations, are we mentioning the aspects or no? How are we doing it?
The aspects of those elbow. You mean
like of the verses that we chanted.
like the verse that you chanted, like the elbow of that. Yeah, what is your thought process on that? Because it would be good. I think it would just make the elbow bigger, but that's fine.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that the only aspects in those 2 aspects, the that one that speaks about feeding egg but it would make it bigger. The other one,
let's feed egg
and Abu Rabbi, so the things that I want to ask is we will list all the Òrìṣà that is big on it, and they also we check what kind of thing they want.
Okay.
So we're not just saying, yes, this is Onile, this is Egbe, this is Ifá. So we will list all the Òrìṣà that is being on that order, and then we check all kind of things that I want one by one.
Okay.
So in that aspect, the 2, just to summarize the 2 aspects, and one aspect, you captured the Iyami one very, very well in this ODU, the egg ban against depression, mental illness, and another one just to feed with a lot of coolants for soft life, things like that. So it could be like bananas, eggs, honey, guinea fowl, or a pig on the larger scale.
Okay.
Onile, we have Egbe, we have Ifá.
And Ori too, but I think Baba Shongo Wale spoke to Ori as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Ifá,
Some of these things for Ori,
Ori.
what part of the request was also if there was specific work that we would be able to share with the public
Yes.
for them to
Ori,
do for their Ori and so on.
for the Ori, I think each person will ask what to use to feed their Ori, because every Ori is not the same. So everybody have their own different Ori. So they will ask what they want, what kind of thing they use to feed their Ori.
Okay. So we'll first have people ask that personally. Okay. All right. So Onile, what shall we feed Onile?
Ile.
Obi or Rogbo? Onile with Obi and Rogbo. Obundabede. Just said Obi and Orogbo to Onile. Ifá, what shall we feed Egbe? Feed Egbe with plenty of fruits and
All sweet food. When you just say all sweet food, it's already banana, sugarcane, honey, sweet, candy, everything. Just say all sweet.
all fruit for Egbe. Osadi. I read that Ifá says no. So maybe add something more.
Babala, you can ask all sweet and rooster and hen for the egg.
That's how we would do it in our Bill Kumsa style as well. We feed Yalo Day and feed Dagon with rooster and hen.
Yeah, because hen represents all the women. Rooster represents all the men.
All sweet things and one rooster, one hen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he add betcha.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then Baba, just for the aspect with Ifá, because I know we all have, I think this is great that we're coming, we all have like different ways, we're all very accomplished priests that have different ways of doing things. But for Ifá, at least an aspect that I chanted, it's very important to feed Ifá with like cooling things like bananas, snail may be hard to get, honey, something like a guinea fowl for coolness, or a pig. So maybe I don't know, maybe we can ask about it. A guinea fowl might be hard to get too, but
I think we already choose she goat.
Okay. So just start with Shigo Baba.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe asking about the other things too, the bananas, that's a big aspect for, at least on our side, is the bananas, the honey for coolness and softness.
Okay, yeah, that one is, we don't need to ask that one, because Ifá already speak about it, that to you to give to the Ifá. So we don't need to ask that.
It's already said.
We already put inside. Okay.
What is known to she goat?
You can ask about pigeon in that one. That's like in the verse. That verse speaks about pigeon. He asks about like pigeon with the bananas and the honey and stuff like that too.
Yeah. We're supposed to answer it.
Compromise and add maybe she goat, add banana and Ori. What do you think?
Yeah.
This is for Ifá?
Ifá, yes.
Okay.
Shall we feed Ifá with she goat, banana, and Ori? Oluwo Meji. Yeah. She goat, banana, Ori. All things for Ifá. So we have for Onile, Obi, and Orogbo. For Egbe, all sweet things, one rooster and one hen. We have for Ifá with one she goat, adding banana and Ori to that feeding. We have feeding Ori with everyone needs to individually ask what their Ori will take. And we have adding pork and beef as a puese, and ebo as one he goat. Slice the head into 5 pieces. Put it in 5 ebo dish, and then ebo of and 3 plates. So
And Babala will ask what to give Obatala as well. Starting from Obi.
shall we give Obatala Obi? Osa Turupon? No.
What about guinea fowl?
Give Obatala with guinea fowl. Ede fun
Ìfúnfún ní òmíràn, Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó fi jẹ́ ìpòlẹ̀.
we're feeding Obatala with 1 guinea fowl. Okay.
So in our lineage, there's an aspect where Shango could be fed too in Otura Meji. We could ask about that.
Shall we feed Shango with
What if I say about guinea fowl and Obatala?
yes, guinea fowl.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Shall we feed Shango with Orogbo and Oti? Yes. Orogbo and dark Oti. Okay, Ifa says no. What shall we be?
What about rooster?
Feed Shango with rooster. Otura Ori. Ifa says no.
What about Oti?
Feed Shango just with dark Oti. Wondering Yaku? No.
Let me say Orogbo, Oti, and rooster.
Okay. Ifa, can we feed Shango with Orogbo, Oti, Ati, Akoko? Idigunda. Bile, so yes. Oti, Shango, Orogbo, Oti, rooster. Okay. Ifa says yes. Okay, so you want me to run? I'll run back everything again. So as it stands, Ebo, 1 he-goat. Slice the head of the he-goat into 5 pieces. Put in each Ebo dish. Then 3 Ebo of 3 okete, and this one will put 3 okete, 1 okete on each plate. Ebo in each plate, and then rooster as well. So that it's like an Ebo and a Pwese as well, because this is the verse with Obaluaye, Eshu, and Iyami contending Orumila. So pork and beef as a Pwese. Feed Onile with Obi and a Rogbo. Feed Egber with all sweet things, 1 rooster and 1 hen. Feed Ifa with 1 she-goat, banana, and Ori. Feed our Oris. Everyone will ask individually what we'll feed our Ori. Feed Obatala with 1 guinea. And feed Shango with Obi. With Orogbo, I'm sorry. Orogbo, Oti, and Akuko. That's the Ebo as it stands currently.
Should we add other aspects, Baba, or what should we do? Or should we just leave it there?
Is Ifa saying there's anything else that is needed?
Let's just ask. We can ask Ifa, is this Ebo that we have said with the Akula balls and feedings, is this the Ebo that will bring us the protection that we are all asking for, the protection, the prosperity that will grant the prayers that we are asking? Is this the Ebo that will do it? 3 Obi, 3 okete, 3 rooster, 3 apple, 3 plates, 1 he-goat, cut the head into 5 pieces, make it pwese with pork and beef, feed Onile with Obi and Orogbo, feed with all sweet things, 1 rooster, 1 hen, feed Ifa with she-goat, banana, and Ori, feed Obatala with guinea, feed Shango with Orogbo, Oti, and rooster, and feed, we will ask individually what we'll feed our own Oris. With that Ebo, will that bring us all Ibe, protection? Also grant the prayers that we are praying for to stop this negativity and opposition in the U.S., particularly in the world. Is this the Ebo that will do it? Wondering, he's saying, Ikagunda. Ifa says yes. That is the Ebo.
Okay.
Great.
Oluwo,
Yes, sir.
would you mark the taboos?
Mark taboos. Okay. So on this Ifa, from what I know, the key is to know the taboos. Baba spoke very clearly about that in the sense of not being too flippant as well. Reiterated something I said in terms of keep those things to yourself. That's very, very, very important. On Otura Meji, Ifá also says that like not being too flippant is very important. Also, keeping your head very cool and calm, not because this Odu says that there's a tendency to take flight, to lose temper. So being calm. Along with that, Ifá is also saying to us, one of the taboos here is not to be fasting, not to space out eating too much or eat at a regular time. I always say eat at a regular time as opposed to fasting, because what happens in Otura Meji is also fasting, over fasting, or going too long without eating can bring about things that will look like a serious illness. There are some others. I think that those are important, and also it's very important for people to know their own personal taboos in this Odu, because that is very key. If you are not in tune with your own general taboo, it can create problems for your life in a major way in Otura Meji. And also general wickedness. This Ifá says, if you do good, you do good for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do wickedness for yourself as well. The story of the beggar who would say that every time. And yes, so this is a very, very powerful Odu in that regard. So do you want me to ask on all of those taboos? Or I think that those are good. Yeah, those are essential.
Baba, can I just add one aspect, at least from that would just be important about the women thing, what it speaks about. But just like women, I was told not to look down on women. Is mistreatment of women, anything like that. I would just say is a strong taboo from this Odu.
Especially with Otura Meji as the world as well.
But that one is not taboo. It's for warning. So just for warning, it's not taboo. So to warning to not look down on women, we can't say it as a taboo. It's for warning for everybody to not do that.
That one may be. I mean, I know we all coming from different lineages. If it was for my lineage, the taboo would give the person is against fighting or conflict with women. But that one is like, how do we? At least that's how we would say it from my lineage, that the person should avoid conflicts with women and things like that. But I mean, we can leave that. We can leave that as a warning.
I believe that I think it just may be a language issue in that regard, because there are quite a few things in our communities that are affecting women. There are a lot of assaults, and even in this tradition. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are some who are abusing women within our own communities and so on. So I think it is important to emphasize that whether we call it a warning or a taboo, it is still something that can bring their downfall. And if it is something that can bring your downfall and your problems, then it's something that needs to be avoided at all costs. And everyone needs to be mindful of that.
Sure.
In this country.
So with those things, I think we're
Ashe, Modupwe. Appreciate everyone. We are going to reconvene at noon Eastern time. That is 9 a.m. Pacific time.
So that was a great reading, and we're going to get into the second reading. I hope this is helping people to know what the ODU is for the United States. I hope that this is helping, guys. So, we're going to continue.
And then please place it in the chat. So the recording is now on, and we can begin. We can get started when the Oluwo that did the divination is able to get in, then he can share his as well. I would ask, if at all possible, that you turn your cameras on. We need to see who's here, who's there, and otherwise, if you are able to. I understand some of you may be at work and may not be able to, but if you can, please do so. Let's see. Someone had their hands up and then they put it down. Let's see. So with Otura Meji, does anyone want to go ahead and share anything in particular?
I can begin.
Baba, would you like to say something?
Just in response to your question, I have, my insights on Otura Meji.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, and I will strive to be concise, but you know how.
I understand.
Now, see, I've broken down the ODUs over the decades into their proverbial statements. Okay, but that's just my way. So you're not going to hear.
We understand different people have different approaches and lineage.
All right. So Otura brings about what has been revealed to me some time ago, the sign of the Ankh. If you look at the signature, what we might call, light, dark, light, light, and we fill that in, we see the Ankh. Now, what that brings about, because what the Ankh symbolizes, is the womb, and the importance of the womb, physically and metaphysically speaking, must be embraced seriously. Now, on a metaphysical note, okay, we have come from wombs, our ancestral lineage, our bloodlines, our maternal legacy is of the utmost importance in this ODU. That does not negate the paternal, but we are focused here and now on the womb. So it's the mothers, it's the lineage of we as a people who have borne the weight of enslavement, but in actuality, it's just a moment in the time of our existence. And though we are focusing in on our liberation, now psychologically speaking, okay, as well as political, we must not forget, according to the ODU, a greater truth. And that greater truth is we have history, we have culture. And as the ODU continues, that history and culture braided into the womb of we as a people must be more so taught, more so actualized, and more so brought into the being of our people. Yes, we are ceremonial. Yes, we are ritual. Yes, we make our bows, but we must also teach. We must also bring into Ifá and Isese historical reverence and relativity that bespeaks our enslavement, but more so bespeaks who we are as a culture, who we are as a people, who we are as nations. You see, Ifá is a composite of continental wisdom, sages, traveled, wise men and wise women sat and conversed. Orunmila codified it, and Orunmila is a spoken truth within the ODU, as well as Ogun. But we seem to, unfortunately, not place a great emphasis on culture, learning the culture, not just kind of copying the culture, but peeling back layers. And it's like looking at an African statue and seeing the statue, but not seeing the mindset that created it and the importance of its symbolism. Okay? So the ODU is calling for greater truth, of us living a greater truth, of us being a greater truth. And the sacrifices and the efforts that we put in are not just for the here and now. Obviously, they are a continuing rippling effect into the future of our people. We are the priestly of our people, first and foremost. Okay. The ODU also speaks of outside religious influences, specifically, okay, coming from, again, outside, foreign to the African concept, and how when we were trying to figure out what these people are doing and where they're coming from, it wasn't always the submission to it as propagation and propaganda, okay, would have us believe. And at the same time, it wasn't always like a war, a physical war. There were, again, priests and priestesses who were sitting down and saying, we are trying to really figure this out, because we may be defeated on the battlefield, but we are not defeated within the spiritual realms. Okay. And the struggle against that happening, the defeat of our spirit, is something that the ODU was calling for us to be very, very cognizant of. Now, it's not saying that we should, turn against our ancestral experiences, because we do have ancestors who were Muslims and we have ancestors who were Christians. But what this ODU was saying is that perhaps we're not shelving it in the right category. It has become too great of an impact upon us. And now that we have a sense of authority over self, we might consider, okay, examining how much of it is really governing us, or are we perceiving Ifá through Eurocentric or Arabic eyes and perspectives? This is what the ODU is saying. Okay? And of course, I'm in great accord with it. I've been at this for 50 years. Trust me, The ODU also states that we should refrain from that which is harmful, specifically foods. We are at the mercy of the medical profession. We are at the mercy of Western pharmaceuticals. The ODU states in order to gain our health and avert the big prevailing sickness that our people suffer, that we must, as the priestly, concern ourselves more and more about or with the impact of food. I've been working with people for years, and anything from blending to juice therapies to herbs have proved very helpful in the upliftment, kind of like a Dr. Sebi kind of energy. But we are capable, less fast food, more natural food, being cognizant of it. And I'm taking it right from the ODU. Okay? And I'll just do two more Now, what's interesting about Otura also, okay, is that not only you strives staying close to Ifá, not deserting Ifá, okay, being there despite striving for riches, exercising wisdom. Wisdom is more beneficial to the people than wisdom. Okay. In closing, Otura is the one who digs up, the one who unearths, the one who basically resurrects. And this is so apropos for and regarding the purpose of the divination. Okay. We here in the United States, the ODU is embracing or asking us to embrace our own resurrection, our own being unearthed, dug up, so that we can be the living essence of our ancestral reality. Now, we have to determine what ancestral means to us. And again, what eyes are we looking at that from? Because from what I'm seeing, a lot of it is basically the same stuff. And I use stuff, in quotation marks. But what are we really seeing? What are our studies actually revealing? Otura is asking us to dig ourselves out of captivity of mind, captivity of spirit, to unearth ourselves, so that we can stand as guiding principles to our people specifically, and to humanity at large. Okay, so this is Otura, just coming at it, from my little humble spot in the Ifá cosmic realm. Okay.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Modupueo.
Modupueo.
Next one is Adetayo Efum Bukola. I cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry. I just realized I was on mute.
Okay.
So from Otura Meji, so in one act, I'm, virtually touching my head to the mat, saluting all the elders on the call. And just to introduce myself, my name is Oluwo Ifakolade, from my lineage from Abel Kuta under Araba Ifa Topak and Wande. So what I have to add to Otura Meji, in one aspect, Ifa says, Akuru Mangbele, Diafun Ereaye, Abowo Kan Fun Torun, Ebony Fanikoshe, Ekuru Akara Timoje, Yami Tison, Akuru Mangbele, Mama Kudegbenu, Akuru Mangbele, Iraiku, Iraje, Iraya, Iroko, Iromo, Atibubu, Ire Timoje, Yami Tison, Akuru Mangbele, Mama Kudegbenu, Akuru Mangbele. So this one here, Ifa speaking about a lot of, mental health aspects, depression, suicidal tendencies, things like that. So I'll just tell briefly like what the verse is talking about and then apply it to, us as a community. So this verse is speaking about someone who was contemplating suicide. They were so depressed, so fed up with life that they were going to throw away their Egbe shrines, get rid of them, and basically kill themselves, right? So the verse is saying, Mama ku degbenu, don't throw away your Egbe and die, right? And it's because it's your Egbe that will uplift you. Whatever things that, this person is lamenting about, that's causing them to be depressed or to want to, give up in life in the first place. It's their Egbe that will uplift them. And so, for us as a community, there'll be a lot of depression, sadness, even suicidal ideations and things like that. And it makes sense with what's going on in this country, what's going on in the world. The economy is bad. It's a lot of internal issues related to oppression, things like that. And so I would say that as we're feeling those impacts, that weight, that heaviness, lean on Egbe very heavily. Pray to your Egbe very heavily. Give offerings to your Egbe. Egbe initiation, if this is someone's ODU, is even recommended, because your Egbe are going to be your saving grace. That's going to pull you out of, pull us as a community out of that darkness, out of that depression, and things like that. So that's one aspect. Another aspect, I think the Bible before me, touched on this aspect too. There's another aspect where Ifá says, Alafia, lau, diafu baba imale, abie wo sege lorun, eku ire lonsun, eboni fanikoche, emi afi aye Ifá se ofeje, tewure, emi ofi aye Ifá se ofeje, tewure, igbin ki legun, ogede ki legun, eyin adie ki legun, eye to ba ye la yeju ni won pe ni Ayele, tewure, emi afi aye Ifá se ofeje, tewure. So, as the Bible before me spoke about, this is one verse that is speaking about those other religions as well. And so I won't go into the aspect about Islam that this verse is speaking about. But the main point here is that, someone with this ODU is in a lot of stress, conflict, difficulty, things like that. And they need to, come to Ifá and do Ebal for softness, for coolness, relief, tranquility, things like that. As the Bible before me touched on, there's an aspect where, maybe this person is practicing outside religions such as Islam and things like that, but it's not working for them in life. And Ifá, traditional religions is a thing that's going to also help bring them relief and softness. I won't go into the whole aspect of Islam, because people go back and forth about many verses from this ODU which speak about that. So again, Ifá is, speaking on what's happening around us. A lot of stress, a lot of conflict, a lot of back and forth going on with us as a community. We're living in a society where, the institution of the state itself, does not want us to prosper. So again, we need to feed Ifá. There's an aspect with this where Ebal will be done. Some of the things that were mentioned in the verse: egg, bananas, snails, right? And metaphorically, it speaks about how these things do not have bones. These things do not have bones. They represent softness. So they'll be used as Ebal elements for softness. So our lives can be soft, easy, and we can resist the weight of oppression and things like that. Again, turn to Ifá, not necessarily practicing foreign religions. I'll just speak to two more aspects. There's an aspect, I won't chant the whole verse, but it's speaking about honoring and respecting women. This many people spoke to that one. It's no coincidence that this is aligning with Otura Meji also falling. It's the aspect. This is one of the ODUs that I was taught where Ibese that we give to the Iyami is born. This is one of those ODUs where Orumila, long story short, he went to Ifá. Ifá told him to honor and respect women. Do not look down on women. Orumila said, what? Like, as powerful as I am, just look at me. I'm this big, powerful man. Like, what can a woman do to me? So he didn't do the Ebal he was told to do. As a result of not doing it, everything fell apart for him. He lost his clients, his house, everything. And so he's at the point of poverty. He goes back to Ifá. He says, hold on, what's that offering you told me to do? And so finally he does the offerings, essentially Ibese to the Iyami. He's told to put it somewhere by a tree or at the crossroads or something. But the key part is he wants to hide and see who's going to collect the offerings. So he leaves it there. He goes, he hides behind a rock. And as he's noticing, it's a bunch of women that are coming to collect this offering. And he realized that he knows a lot of these women. These are the women from the community. These are his aunts, his this, his that, that are very familiar to him. And so there he learns not to look down on women, not to underestimate women, not to disrespect women, because, again, it's women that give birth to us. Before we can be whoever, we can be Orumila himself in life. We can be king, CEO, this, that. But a woman first had to give birth to us. So I would say, as a community, we should be honoring and respecting women a lot this year. It's doubling down on what Otura Meji is saying. There's other aspects I can speak to. There's aspects where Ifá speaks about feeding the Òrìṣà of the mouth. Ifá, what's the Òrìṣà called? Ulu Bobo Tibo is what we call the Òrìṣà of the mouth. Feeding the Òrìṣà of the mouth. So sharing in some of the Ebal with the community to prevent gossip and things like that. There's other aspects I can speak to about litigation. I'll leave it there. The very last thing I'll say is conflict between elders and youth. We should value, respect each other. We all have something to offer. It should not be a year where we're leading with ego and arrogance and things like that. So I'll touch my head.
Cheryl, thank you very much for sharing. The Oluwo who did the divination is now here, and I'm going to spotlight Oluwo Ifakolade so that he can share the messages.
Abora boy, how's everyone? Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. I pay homage to all the elders in the room who all contributed to all our Ifá perspective and understanding of how it is shaped here in the United States. So I thank you all so much. I don't know what was said before, but I just wanted to highlight some of the verses and the messages that I shared earlier, and also some of verse that the Ebo that we pulled from. So this first one, I'm not going to chant the whole thing. I'm just going to do a little bit of it. Otura Meji koso musical instrument is it that sounds like a gong. The sound of bembe drum is louder than that at the back of the drummer. You have sent me on an errand, and I have gone. You have sent me on a journey, and I went. This was a particular journey you are sending me on. It is filled with travails. These were Ifa's messages to Orunmila when going to heaven to learn. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. Indeed, it is difficult to be an Ifa practitioner. For someone to prepare land for cultivation without going back to plant anymore, yes, it is difficult. Ifa is difficult to practice. So this is the verse where I was talking about three major comments that Olodumare had given to Orunmila. He was traveling from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven, excuse me. And when he made this journey, his wife was pregnant, and it took him years to get to Orun. By the time he gets there, Olodumare gives him 3 statements and tells him that he needs to meditate on them and come up with a different meaning of each for 1,000 different meanings. So 1 meaning a day for 1,000 days. So the first one is when the river is filled to the brim, do not forge across. When the second one is when the wind is strong, do not stand next to a tree. And the last is basically not to get angry without seeing all sides of the situation. Essentially, in the process, Orunmila comes back with the rich man of earth, the rich man of heaven, and he makes it back to his home. Both the rich man of earth and heaven die as a result of not following the advice and not following the wisdom. And I'm kind of paraphrasing to kind of make it short. But once Orunmila gets home, he sees his wife in bed with what looks like to be another man. And essentially, that was his own child. And he was going to harm his wife and that child. And Ifa is basically saying, look at things from all perspectives, be very slow to anger. So in terms of that, the main warnings, not only for us, but also things that we can see that our government is not doing. Our government is being flippant. Our government is being quick to anger, quick to pop off. We, on the other hand, we cannot do that. We have to heed the warning of when we see that there's going to be problems and trouble or conflict and confusion, we need to just back away and go in the other direction. When we're in a situation where things are getting heated and it's about to go wrong, it's about to go left, we need to be the ones to calm things down. And if we know it's going to be a crazy thing, don't even enter into that discussion. So that also means engaging in, like political debates, issues. We do what we do. Ashe, we're doing that. Another verse that I wanted to share, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. I'm going to give bits and pieces of this. Ifa says, Otura Meji, the travelers you could not catch up with, and the travelers behind that you refuse to wait for. If one cannot catch up with those in front, one needs to wait for those behind. These are Ifa's declarations to Obaluaye, to Eshu Odara, to Yami Oshoronga, and to Orunmila when coming from heaven to earth. So in this Odu, what was happening is that Orunmila, Yami Oshoronga, Eshu Odara, and Obaluaye were coming from heaven to earth. And in the process, Olodumare had a special mission for each of them. And Olodumare says to Obaluaye, I want you to give money. And Obaluaye is like, no, I don't want to be the one to bestow money on people. I want to be the one to drain their pockets with illness. Also, Eshu Odara, Olodumare, I want you to go and be the one who brings people's spouses. And Eshu Odara says, no, I don't want to be that one. I want to be the one that make people break up. Iyami Oshoronga, if Olodumare says, I want you to be the one to bring children. And Yami says, no, I want to be the one to make sure that women don't give birth to kids. And so all of those things, those special tasks were then given to Orunmila. Orunmila comes from heaven to earth. He arrives and he's blessing people, and people are receiving so many good things. As a result of that, those individuals, Obaluaye, Eshu Odara, Yami Oshoronga, were sending spiritual missiles at Orunmila. He had bad dreams. He went for Ifa consultation. And the unique thing about this verse and also this Odu is that Ifa told Orunmila to serve them, and serve them in the sense of giving them the things that they want. What I mean by that is sharing with them. Orunmila shared a woman that wanted to marry him. Agberu. And Orunmila, this is the verse where Orunmila hands Agberu, who she had not married, to Eshu, introduces Eshu to her, and that becomes Eshu's wife. Iyami, Orunmila hands one of his daughters. He says, this is your auntie, raise her. And then he gives Obaloye money. Essentially, what Ifa is saying here is that as we're doing this work, we too can be like Orunmila. We can't be like this government. We also have to practice community, even in the event of people that we don't agree with, and also even in the event of people who actively want to harm us. This is very unique because Orunmila served them, and that's where the Ebo, where we were talking about with the 3 okete, 3 plates, 3 epo, 3 roosters. And this is the thing that Orunmila used to serve Eshu. The verse goes further on to say, Eshu Olalu, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All my wives, they belong to you. Obalu Ayeo, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All my wives, all my money, excuse me, they belong to you. Iyamio Shoronga, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All of my children, they belong to you. As a result of this, all of those forces then began to look at Orunmila as their leader. And this is also a verse where when we cast Ifa, and then we also check with Ifa to see what Iyami wants. We check what Eshu wants. We check what Obaluaye wants through the divination process. This is also what that verse is talking about, how Orunmila essentially becomes centralized. So essentially, the message here is those things that we need to be strong forces for good, and we need to be strong forces of unity. And along with that, as we're doing that, it's a binary opposition to what the government is presenting us. Along with that, in doing that and servicing the community, we as Ifa followers, Ifa practitioners will become leaders, and we'll become centralized within the community. People will look to Ifa, they'll look to us and be like, oh, that's what Ifa looks like. That's what this tradition looks like, because we're doing the right thing. Along with this, Ifa is saying that there are 3 enemies that are very close to us. They know our numbers, they know our address, they know all of those things, and they really know how to get to us. Because Obaluaye, Iyami, Eshu, essentially were like Orunmila's, in this verse, it's like their siblings, their family members. So Ifa is saying that the individuals who are opposing us are also very close. And then the last Ebo that was prescribed was Ebo of 1 he-goat, and we sliced the head into 5 pieces. And the other aspect of that is, if I did not accept that Ebo, the other Ebo would have been 5 he-goats. We offer Ebo with that. So what Ifa is essentially saying is that there's negative energy, negative people who are opposing many of us and the good that we want to do in this world, coming from at least 5 different directions. I say 8 because of the other 3. The other thing about this ODU is that we also must be very careful, be very mindful not to rush in with anger and flippant words. And last but not least, I wanted to add, this ODU also says that for all of us to maintain and keep ourselves safe, we need to know what our taboos are. We've covered some of the taboos of not spacing out eating times, not to fast, some of those things. But along with that, Ifa is saying that we need to be very aware, very mindful of what are our spiritual poisons, because it's a very heightened sense, and it's very sensitive now, in that sense that we could derail ourselves by not only doing the things that are taboo in Otura Meji, but also the thing that is taboo for us. So that there's a very important verse and story associated with knowing your taboo and not breaking that taboo, because that breaking that taboo will open us up to weakness. So we have a lot of spiritual power at this time, and we will be extremely blessed. I'm sure the Ebo is being offered, and may Olodumare support what we're doing. Aboraboy.
Aboraboy, everyone, can you hear me?
We can hear you fine, yes.
Okay. Greetings to everybody here, to all the elders present, and Iya, particularly for inviting me to participate in this casting for the United States. Just a little bit about myself. So my name's Agbola. I'm initiating Tuifa. My elder is Chief Shalagbade Popola. He's the one that I train under. And today I just wanted to share just 2 messages. So short, to the point. And they're the same 2 messages I shared in the chat a little bit earlier. And they're the first 2 things that popped into my head when I saw Otura Meji come out this morning. So I thought I would share those first. So the first one, Ifá says in this ODU, let me recite the verse, Otura Meji. The 2 elbows cannot be used to place a basket on the ceiling. This was Ifá Kaso Alukandi, the messenger of Oludumare Agotun, coming from heaven to earth. He was advised to offer Ebo. He refused to comply. Now, here I come, Alukandi, Alukandi. I will kill whoever I like, Alukandi. Behold you, Alukandi, Alukandi. You hold no fear of Oludumare in your heart, Alukandi. So in this particular verse from Otura Meji, there was a messenger called Alukandi. And he was the direct messenger of Oludumare and all the Irumale. And they would always send him to the earth to do so many different types of works, to share messages to human beings, to help human beings, to assist human beings. Whatever Alukandi would tell the human beings would do it without question. He had that much authority. And it was authority that was given to him by Oludumare and the Irumale. So eventually got to a point where Alukandi realized that despite all the work he was doing, the human beings were getting more love and more care, at least the way he thought, from Oludumare and the Irumale than what he was receiving. And he kept thinking to himself, why is it that Oludumare and the Irumale love human beings so much, despite how much they mess up? They kill each other, they steal from each other, they do so many things to pollute the planet and do so many things that are destructive, but yet Oludumare and the Irumale still love these human beings. And here's me doing my job with diligence, instructing all these human beings on what they should be doing to live right, yet I'm not getting the same type of love back from Oludumare and the Irumale. Eventually, he became envious of human beings, and he began to asked Oludumare and the Divinis to have a special authority, special power over all human beings, more than what he had before. And because he was very diligent in his work, they granted him this power. The next time that he came to the world, he began to punish all the human beings that were not acting correctly. The ones that were lying, the ones that were cheating, the ones that were doing all sorts of things without character. But he was the one being the judge and the executioner. And that's how he was using his authority, his new power. And every 5 days, he would be taking people out. Every 5 days, taking people out. And he created a lot of chaos in the world, a tremendous amount of chaos because of the abuse of his privilege and his authority. Eventually, the elders in these communities got together and they said, we have to do something because this guy is causing a lot of destruction in the human societies, all human societies. So they decided to go and cast Ifá over the situation. And Otura Meji is what was revealed to them. The Awos told these elders that if they could offer Ebo, Eshu would be very essential in supporting them to have victory over this antagonist, this authoritarian figure, basically, Alukandi. So they offered their Ebo. Eshu then went into action and began to organize all the different human communities and told them that in the very next 5th day that Alukandi came, they needed to attack him. And they would have complete power to attack him, that they need not fear anything about Alukandi. So they trusted what Ifá said, they trusted what Eshu was saying. When this 5th day came, Alukandi came in to do his usual destruction and to take people out. But he didn't realize that that very specific day that he showed up, Eshu had also talked to Oludumare and all the Irumale and had told them how he was abusing of his authority and his privilege, and showed them facts about all the things that Alukandi had been doing to cause destruction in the world. So Oludumare and the Irumale decided to take that power away from him. So when he arrived that 5th day, unknowns to him, he was powerless, completely powerless. When he got there, he began then trying to exercise his force and realized he had nothing. That's when Eshu then told the people, grab him and do what you want with him. And they basically grabbed him and executed him, is what happened. So what Ifá's saying in this particular story, as far as the United States, our government, but this also includes us as citizens, anybody, including our government, as long as we or our government continues to abuse of our privilege, abuse of the authority that we have, not over our own citizens only, but people in the world, is going to come to a point where our government is going to be like Alukandi. We're going to find ourselves in that same situation where we still think we have that same privilege, we still think we have that same authority, and it will be stripped from us at the exact moment where everybody else will then be able to attack us, abuse us, ridicule us, and do whatever they wish to us. So if our government does not wish that to happen, if we as citizens do not wish that to happen in our own personal lives, in our community, and with people from other nations and other groups, ethnicities, we need to be humble. We need to be humble, and we do have privilege, we do have authority, but we need to use it appropriately, or we'll end up getting the same consequence as Alukandi did in the story. So that's the first message that I wanted to share from Otura Meji. The second one that I wanted to share is a story about Orofo, is a type of bird. So this verse says, flippant talks, unguarded speeches, there's nobody that the trap set by the mouth cannot catch. These were Ifa's declarations to Orofo, who shall give birth to 2 children and declare that her home was filled to the brim. She was advised to offer Ebo, she refused to comply. Now the flippant talker killed herself. The unguarded talker dug her own grave. In this story, Orofo wanted to have children. She was struggling to have children. After much time with no success, she finally decided to cast Ifa. She went to a group of Awo, they cast Otura Meji for her. The Awo said that if you offer Ebo, you will give birth to children. No problem. It'll finally happen for you. But when the children are born, you need to make sure that you do not brag about them, that you don't show off about them, you don't talk arrogantly about the blessings that you had. You need to be very humble, just keep on the down low. It's very important, or else you will end up losing your children. She did not take that advice very well, because she felt that even though she wasn't a mother yet, that when she would become a mother, she knew how to be a mother. And plus, if I give birth to children, I want to be able to show off my happiness and brag about me having children. Who are these owls to tell me that I can't do that? So she got up, didn't offer any Ebo at all, left. Now, she did end up getting pregnant. She did end up giving birth to 2 chicks, to 2 baby birds, but she didn't follow the advice also that she was given. So she began to brag and show off about, oh, I have 2 children. I'm so proud. They're so beautiful. They're great. I'm so happy being a mother. And then she even said, and not only that, but have so much food and so much water and so much resources to feed ourselves. And we're so happy. And she just kept talking about all the things that she had to all the other creatures. What happened is that because she was doing this, because she was bragging about all the blessings that she had, all the other creatures began to feel envious and began to feel like, why is it that she has all these blessings, all this food, all this water, all these resources, and here we are starving? We're going on the day-to-day. We don't even know if we have food the next day or not, because everybody else was lacking so many different things. And here she is bragging about all the things that she has in our faces. So they decided to get together, and they decided that they were going to go to Orofo's house to kill her 2 children, and to collect all these resources, this food, this water, all this abundance that they had for themselves, that they were lacking in their own lives. And long story short, they did. They went, they killed Orofo, and they killed her 2 children. But when they were there, they ended up realizing that although Orofo did have her 2 children, she actually was exaggerating completely about how much resources and abundance she actually had. She didn't really have anything, very little. And so the meaning of this story is for us, also for our government, but also as US citizens ourselves, is that yes, we do have a lot of resources here. We do have a lot of money here. We have a lot of material wealth. We have a lot of authority. We have all these blessings, just like Orofo had in the story. But none of us should be bragging about all the things that we have, all the things that we can do, all the blessings that we have in our lives, because this will only cause other people, especially people from other nations who may not have all these same resources, to really despise and hate us, which already is happening anyway. But Ifa says because this ODU came out, it's going to be increasing more and more and more, unless the people in our government quit that type of talk. And us as US citizens also be careful not to be talking that way or behaving that way with other people around the world. So those are just the 2 stories that I wanted to share that I feel apply to this situation and our government in particular. Aburaboye.
The Alakandi was one that I was going to share, so I'm glad that you were able to share that. I just wanted to add a little bit that what we have is someone who has a lot of authority. They were given a lot of authority and they abused their power. And they killed a lot of people. They were reckless with their power. And as a result, when the people came together It required when the people came together that they could come together and do the ebo to address this abuse of power. That abuse of power, they were neutralized and they were able to reign. So not only do I see that in terms of how the United States presents itself, I see that in terms of the executive that is in a White House at this moment, and how that shows up even towards his own people here in the United States. And that some of the things that we're doing even right now coming together, we have problems. We need to address those abuses of power, how that is important because we're doing that above as well. But also speaking to abuse of power and how there's been a lot that has gone on regarding even priests abusing power and manipulating power. And so there's an issue with abuse of power across the board, not just with one area, but everyone in positions of power need to look out for those who are underneath and who are subservient to them and not abuse that power, lest they will lose that power. That's all I wanted to say about that. So thank you for sharing that.
Bravo, yeah, thank you.
Awo Obashina Osarinu. Next. And keep in mind, anyone who wants to speak, if you know how to use the hand raise, then do so. If not, then put it in the chat and I will make sure that I get it out.
I'm not muted. Okay, good. Want to make sure. Good morning, good afternoon. Ekaro, Ekasan. All. I just wanted to share the verses or some thoughts or some what I have for Otura Meji. It's what I put in the chat, but just wanted to expand on that a little bit. So, Otura Meji, Jinje, Nirebu Aborenide, Adifafono, Lumila, Intikole Orun Wa, Si, Ikole Aye, Hua, Lower, Kento Wa, Eborenide, Jinje Nirebu, Aborenide, Hua Laya, Hua Bima, Hua Ni Ire Bugbo, Kento Wa, Eboron Onide, Jinje Nirebu, Eboron Onide. So, in this aspect of Otura Meji, Jinje Niregun, Obore Oride, divine for Rumilai when he was coming from Ikole Orun to Ikole Aye, from heaven to earth. Rumilai said, I will have plenty of money before I return. Egboro Oriade, Jeje Niregun, Egboro Oriade, I will have good luck and blessing of life before my return to Ikole Orun. So, in this aspect of Otura Meji, I'll make the Itan very, very brief. Rumilai chose long life in heaven. And when he came from heaven to earth, his Egbe missed him because he was actually he was a leader of his Egbe. He was one of the administrators, and he was very important to his Egbe. So while he was living his life on earth, his Egbe, they missed him a lot. They really wanted him to come home. So they continually tried to get him to come home. They continually did everything they can do to get him to come home. However, Rumila went to go and get divination. He was told to just do Ebal and also do other rituals. He complied, did Ebal, and also did his other rituals. And he was able to live his life in full. So our elders, when Otura Meji in this aspect, they say that Ifá sees that we are destined to live good, long lives and be blessed, but we are in danger of not living long. And it's very important that we appease Ifá and Eshu so that Ifá may modify our destiny and we may receive protection from Eshu. This also in this verse is talked about how it is the Iyami who was the cause of the issues that Orumilai was seeing inside of his life. So as it was earlier said that, you know, it's fitting that this verse supports the earlier messages from Otura Meji that, you know, the work and the connection with Iyami is very, very important. So Ipaisa Iyami is advised. And also connection and support and appeasements to Egbe is also important. In this verse in particular, I wanted to relate this to us here in the United States about the important role that Orumilai played inside of his Egbe, and how his Egbe really, in the fact that we see ourselves, you know, in today that we have a lot of privilege, we have a lot of opportunity, we have all the makings of very, very good lives. And at the exact same time, while we have all this privilege and all these blessings and all these wonderful things, we literally, you know, live in danger of living short lives because of everything that's going on around us. And how important it is for us as adherents of Onisheshe to work very closely with Ifá and work very closely with Eshu and be praying that our destinies can live out in totality and that our lives are not cut short. Many other aspects talk about the danger of your life being cut short, despite all the many blessings that you actually have, due to you in your destiny. And so in this verse, I just wanted to talk about how it's important, especially as we talk about Egbe, how important it is for us here in the United States to organize. As in this aspect, the Rimala was actually the administrator of the Egbe. He was the one who made sure that things ran well. And I think that's what a lot of us are missing. I've seen it said a lot, online in recent months. So I'm really happy that this verse came up, because talking about the importance of actually just being able to organize, being able to administer various projects, various institutions, build various things, and to have the ability to, for us to be able to coordinate various missions for various reasons. And this is from me, so I'll end with this. This is, me speaking. I think that a lot of times here in the United States and diaspora, especially those who are living in marginalized communities, we speak from the sense of we need to unite. And I think that this whole thing about unity is really kind of missed. I don't think that it's really about everybody believing the same thing, being on the same page, as Baba earlier said, like, to be able to do things with people who you don't necessarily even get along with. I think the thing is that we need to change our mindsets to be less focused on making sure that everybody, has these purity tests and everybody believes the same thing. And we need to be more focused on what do we actually need to do, and what is the outcome that we are needing to reach. So with that, I just wanted to give that little insight. I did not place that in my notes, but that part was important. I thought was how needed to be highlighted, as it was from the Itan of Arimala being the administrator of the Egbe, and how important it is for us to be able to coordinate and be goal focused and not purity test focused.
Ashe. I agree. Miss Freeman, this is Oloye Irelu.
Yes.
Hold second.
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yes. Can we see your video so I can put you in spotlight? I can't put you in spotlight without your video.
Yeah, I cammed up one time, but I have a lot going on in my background. So sorry.
That's all right.
So I may not stay on video for a long time, but because my grandbaby is running around and my house is not. But anyway, so Otura Meji, Abaraboye to everyone. A cliche to my junior brother, Obashina. And so for people who don't know me, I am I'm a lot of things. Right now I'm just a Ifá, just contributing to this forum. And my Oluwo, I always pay homage to him for my knowledge and my training. Baba Fakayode Fani of Oshobo land, Baba Bombom of Oshobo land. So that's that. So that's where my training comes from. But in this Otura Meji, one of the aspects talks about people, when this ODU shows up on the mat, that people or the person, well, this community or this country is what we're, to make it make sense, are Ifá foresees every type of E-ray for us this year, according to this ODU. It says that the blessings or the E-ray that we as diasporans will be blessed with will be so extraordinary that everyone around us will use our success as the benchmark, as the standard. And Ifá says that other people will be praying to Oludumare, to all of the Irumale, to the Òrìṣà, even to their ancestors, to Egungun, to Iyami, to any divinity that they can think of, because they're wanting these deities to bless them with some type of E-ray or some type of blessing. And they will be wanting the same type of blessings that they are witnessing that the people in the diaspora that are operating from this ODU are receiving or experiencing. And so it's just basically just saying that the people who this ODU has appeared for will be the center of attention to a lot of people. And so since that, when you're the center of attention, Ifá says that we cannot afford to be misbehaving or engaging in any form of antisocial conduct. I can go on and on about what's antisocial, but I think we're all adults here and we know what's antisocial. Anything, we like to use the words Iwapele, but and we always describe Iwapele as good character. And then some people will suggest that, oh no, it means gentle character. Regardless whether it's good, whether it's gentle, the character traits or the actions behind one's character, and when they begin to impede on someone else's peace and harmony, as Oludumare intended for all of us, that's when it becomes a problem. So whatever that is, whether that's being late, not being on time for something, or whether that is stealing something out of somebody's purse, it doesn't matter. When the behavior impedes on somebody else's peace and harmony, that's when it becomes a problem. So what Ifá is saying is that we must not behave in any or engage in any form of anti-social conduct, and that's that on that. And so one of the Itan or story behind this, here come my grandbaby. Oh God. One of the stories behind this is about Akala, and Akala was a working owl or babalawo in the land of Ipapo, and he had I guess what you will call an oriki, and that oriki pertained to the meaning of the one that causes his own legs to wither away. And so this owl was advising the inhabitants of this town, Iheunje, to do ebo, so that all of these blessings that they were looking for would come their way. And so the inhabitants of this land of Iheunje were some very hardworking people. Like, they had their own businesses. It was very serious about working to be able to pass generational wealth down to their children. So, which is why they spent a lot of time training their children to be hard workers and enterprising like themselves. And so it was very clear. It was very clear that the elders made it very clear to everyone in that town, in order for you to even live in this town, we cannot be successful if everybody is not working hard. There will be no success without hard work. And that just sounds very familiar to inhabitants of the United States and other diasporan countries, because it's apparent why these countries exist today, because of the hard work of the backs of individuals. So we understood that assignment. So as the story goes, before long, all of the inhabitants of Iheunje accepted this reality that either we're going to work hard or we're not going to be successful. So eventually they visited the home of the Babalawo Akala, Papo, and they wanted to see him because they said, like, really, what is our potential for becoming successful in life? Like, what are the odds that we will be successful in life? And different people were asking for different things. What if we're looking for financial success? What if we're looking for good spouses? What if we're looking for great children? What if we're looking for honor, chieftaincy, titles, whatever? What if we're looking for just good health, a long life, whatever? Like what is it that we're working hard, and we're doing all of these things, but how is it guaranteed that we're going to be able to enjoy the fruit of our labor? And so we're doing all of this, like, are we going to be able to achieve everything that we have in mind? Basically, those are the questions that they took to that Babalawo. And
so with all that being said, I want to just give a shout out. Okay, hold on, let me take this thing. Sorry. I want to give a shout out, all right, to I wasn't gonna play the whole. I mean, listen, if you guys want to see the entire ODU in that, please go to Chief Dr. Ayele Kumari's YouTube page. All right, I'll put this into the chat so you guys could be able to see the whole thing. Please support. She has put together the yearly ODU. Now, like I said, normally there's an ODU for Cuba, an ODU for Africa, there's an ODU, but this is the ODU for the United States. So please support her and her channel and what she is doing. Please support. Also, let me let's also give you more information, insight into Ayele Kate. This is her website. If you get a chance. Hold on, that's not her website. Hold on. We listen. We support each other here, okay? Please support. This is the actual site right here. Please support her. She is the person that is behind the American ODU, okay? The United States ODU. Please support her on this journey, okay? Normally I said like they have like the African ODU, they have the Cuba ODU. She is the one that started the ODU of America, United States, right? Also, on top of that, she is an author. Okay, she wrote the book Ifa, Woman of Wisdom. Listen, as a woman, if you're a woman, please get this book. It's called Ifa. And she's written several other books. Please support her as an author. Okay. On top of that, this lady has done so much. She is the one who put this whole thing together. Dr. Chief Ayele Kumari. Please support her in everything that she is doing. Her website is ayelekumari.com. Let me make sure. ayelekumari.com. Please go to her website. She is also Chief Ifa. She works very, very, very good in the community. She does a lot of things for the community. Please support her website. Please support everything that she is doing. Let's see if I can get her website here. This is her website, okay? And this is the beautiful sister that put this entire United States IFA reading, for the United States together. So please support her. Please go to her website, Ayele Kumari. Please read her books. Okay, listen. When you want to know about Ifá, she is one of the primary sources, especially for women. And you know what? She was really supposed to be here. And what I'm going to do is that like next week, we're going to have her come up here and she's going to break down this stuff even further. Because I know there's a lot of like concepts that you're hearing that might be foreign. So she's going to be the one that comes and break this whole thing down. But for those that are into Ifá and everything, I get it. It's a lot of words that you might not understand, but let me tell you something. She's going to be able to break everything down into a way that you can understand it. Hopefully by next week, we're going to have her on. She was busy putting this whole thing together. And so by next week, she will be able to come here, introduce her new book she has coming out, as well as discuss the current situation with the reading the letter of the year that has just got introduced to America. Like I said, they have different letters of the year. They have one in Cuba, they have one in Africa, they have various ones, but she is the originator of the one in America. Shouts out to Iya, much love to her. With all due respect, much love. Please support her in her channel. Please support her books. Much love. Peace.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah. See if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the